Quickly to the issue of the NPP and the matters coming up, you would have heard Alan Chiramanting. He was in the United States of America, and he spoke to a group of people, and he said, well, it doesn't look like it will be a wise decision to go to 2016 with Nana Addo.
Is that what Alan Chiramanting said?
Yes, because he will not pull the floating. He will not pull floating voters, and that's what you need.
Well, I thought he said that he can pull floating voters, and that they should send him. That's what I thought I heard.
Yes, so it means the reverse, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think so. I think others will go say the same thing, that they can pull floating voters.
No, he's telling you that Nana Addo has the track record. He's done it twice. He's not been successful. So, and you shouldn't be experimenting the third time.
I've already told you that I don't believe Alan meant it. Alan has gone for elections before, has he not? So I don't think he meant that way, the way the media is trying to interpret it. Let's just listen to him and literally take the meaning of what he's saying. He thinks he's the best, and for that matter, with the party should send him. That's it. And I'm not sure that he says that then don't send somebody else. Because when Nana Addo goes out there to campaign, he's going to say, well, I am the best, so please send me. But look, there are two ways of campaigning. Either you campaign for yourself, that is, say positively, this is what I can do, this is what I can do, this is what I can do, or you try to run down your opponent. I've always told those in the NPP that the psyche of the NPP supporters out there, they get very, very angry with people who try to run down others. I can tell you that if you think that running down other people may win your votes, you're actually diminishing significantly your chances of winning any election within the cycle of the NPP. And so... You
think that's what Alan is doing?
No, I just told you that I don't believe that that's what Alan wants to achieve. Maybe the media may have skewed or maybe have misinterpreted what he wanted to say. And for us as a party, and especially those in leadership, those in parliament, we are very clear in our mind that when people are campaigning, they should campaign strongly on their own strengths and not about talking about other people. And as long as the people did not talk about other people, we are okay with that. And that's why the party is very strong and very strict on the way forward concerning the roadmap to electing the flag bearer for the party, which is the major thing that the party will be doing this year, okay? And that's the last major header that we'll be doing this year within the party activity. We've started with the polling station, we'll finish with that, came to the regional, constituency to regional to national, and the flag bearer thing is the other thing in terms of competitive election that will be going. And so I don't want to
I quote Alan as reported by the Daily Guide, and he says, quote, "I want to be very upfront. I think that we have our own senior brother, Nana Akufo-Addo. He's represented the party very well on 2 previous occasions. Unfortunately, however, for whatever reason, it's not been possible for us to get into power. I think that we must explore other opportunities, and that is why I will be putting myself up as a candidate when the nominations open, and I am here to seek your support."
Yeah. By implication, he thinks that the best ticket will be an Alan ticket and not Akufo-Addo ticket. That's implication. It's obvious, and there's no need to run away from that. In any case, he's selling his ticket. He's selling himself. What do you expect him to say? That's what he will say. It's categorical in a way. The problem would arise when he loses the primaries and Akufo-Addo wins, and he has to join Akufo-Addo to market Akufo-Addo. And then he has to try and find ways and means of rationalizing what he has said earlier. That is his challenge. But at this moment, the man is marketing himself, his credentials. And I think it's a perfectly legitimate exercise he's undertaken, once he's not actually doing character assassination of Akufo-Addo. Okay? It is obvious.
He says that almost invariably, you can imagine that if everything goes well, you can expect that our core voters will vote for us. The difference lies in how we convince the swing voters, floating voters. Then he comes to say, so whichever way we look at it, let us try and understand the psychology of these swing voters. Because indeed, if they were going to vote on party lines, there would be no floating voters. They are swing voters because they are not aligned necessarily to any party. He's saying...
but he must first win the core delegates of his party.
But you look at the ultimate before you look at...
No. You don't win the
Chicken
delegates. You don't win the delegates. You don't even test yourself before the floating voters who are out there. You must first win the core delegates. They are also a reflection. In this case, they are about 150. Am I right?
Yes.
So they are also a reflection of those outside there. You must win that first before you can appeal to the floating voters, whoever they are and wherever they are. The psychology of them, they better start giving us. And I don't dispute the existence of a floating voter or swing regions and things. I don't dispute it. But I don't have anything of evidential value to actually use that in supporting what Alan is saying. Maybe he's done some research. Why don't they do us a favor by putting some of the information out there, what do you call it, better and further particulars of the psychology of the floating voters. It will help us to have an informed discussion. But bottom line, first win the core delegates before you can apply yourself to testing your popularity with relative to the floating voters.
But let me help with some information whilst he's analyzing. Our party structure is such that in every polling station, in Ghana we have 26,002 polling stations. In every polling station, we have 5 people who are delegates. The psychology of making these 5 people who are delegates is to say that they represent what the nation thinks. Because in your village, that form the polling station, you are supposed to know the feel and the pulse of the people. So if the people think that it is Akufo-Addo or Alan Martin, and then they go to vote for that person, that's what the people think.
You suspect that Alan's obvious research that is being called for is the previous elections.
That's correct.
And Kuku is saying, what's the big deal about this? It's normal internal politics. He has to campaign to win the flag bearership. So what? But he's doing something that may come to hurt the party.
Or him.
Right. That is, if he doesn't get it, the opposition, as to opposition to the NPP, will say that even your own man said Akufo-Addo, cannot win elections.
Well, yes, you should be sure that we will say that. Let me be blunt and
don't go and say it.
Honest.
That's not what he says. So don't go and say that.
I mean, it's very clear.
But implication is different from saying it.
Look. Let's face facts.
So don't go and say that he said that.
You know, some of us have all kinds of theories about what has gone on and how things are playing out now. I mean, we believed from the onset that even the entire process of going to court was part of a grand scheme to sort of prop Mr. Akufo-Addo as the indefatigable candidate for the NPP. And I think that if you look at the trajectory, you are beginning to see the pronouncements, not just what Alan has said, but I was reading online a group known as Get Alan Chamantin Elected. They are even going further to suggest that the NPP delegates should consider having an Alan Bawumia ticket. So it is very clear that Alan truly believes that Mr. Akufo-Addo is damaged goods and is incapable of leading their party to victory. Now, as Kweku said, how are they going to try and reconcile after all is said and done? Because you can be sure that this statement that was made by Mr. Alan Chamantin in the US has also attracted rebuttals and even very forceful pushback from the likes of Dr. Amakutufo, who quite clearly think that they should not be experimenting, quote unquote, for 2016. So as far as our side is concerned, we know who our candidate is. They should go ahead and battle it out. I mean, it will be much easier if they bruise themselves and we can just have a walk in the park.
There's another aspect of his statement that some people are complaining about, especially the critics of the NPP, that he says that 2016 must be at all cost for the NPP.
Yeah. It's not just him. In fact, it was a clear message that was highlighted at the NPP Congress in Tamale, and speaker after speaker consistently made a call for power as if it was a life and death issue. I mean, I think that approach is not helpful, and I believe that we should all learn to understand that when you go into a particular election or any other thing that has choices, you might either have a successful outcome or an unsuccessful outcome.
Short
Okay.
short of subverting the Constitution.
How can you say that?
Short of subverting
Would anybody
the
go to
Constitution.
war
That's the
thinking I'm
ultimate
going to
goal.
lose?
There's nothing wrong saying I want to win power. Short
Oh.
of subverting.
When
the
anybody
No, no,
goes
it's
to an
not
election
just-
saying
no,
I'm
it's
going
not-
to lose.
it's not just saying that you want
What
to
is reasonable
win.
about at all costs?
Okay.
What is reasonable about it?
At
think
all
that
What is
legitimate cost.
unconstitutional
Okay.
about it?
No,
All right.
the-
That's
Okay,
the problem.
gentlemen, sorry, we have run out of time. Thank you very much. This show was produced by Sedem Ofori, assisted by Nicholas Opuni, and also Emmanuel Ante. I'm Samson Ladi Ayenini. My outfit was provided by Latida. You can call Latida 0204-336-444. My guests have been Abdul Malik Kwekubako Jr., Dr. Clementa Park, Dominic Nitowul, and Dr. Maria Zakaria. Have a good afternoon.